and at the last moment, I contacted Mr. and we talked. We said, I think that there are many successive, workshops out there. So I propose it to, deal. Just to make it a sharing, presentation for the sake of sharing some projects, something real, because it talks about, Mr. Amir talks before about what we do, something that we can do, and so on. I'm going to share my personal and professional at the same time digital projects, things that I did. It's gonna be good if we share something like that together, and I will be listening, inshallah, to to all of us, to learn from each other, from your experiences regarding the use of ICT and so on. What are you currently working on specific digital projects and so on, and what other things maybe that you've done so far. So this is meant for sharing, so it's going to be inshallah as short, and we'll be saving inshallah some time for the other colleagues who have workshops to conduct. Okay, so my digital projects, the brand name of my digital projects is English Windows. This digital projects consists of a variety. Of course, today we'll be focusing on one very, recent project which has to do with the English Windows web application for second-year baccalaureate students. But we have an overview, let's say, about my, my overall projects as a whole, which has this brand name English Windows. Later on, inshallah, once I finish, because it's going to be short. I would like to listen from you and also learn from your experiences, and because there are things that sometimes you feel stuck when you are working on a specific project, but there is no one out there because I don't work together with a team. I'm just working individually. So a very short introduction to English Windows. It's as I said, it's a digital, the brand name of the digital projects I have been working on so far, and it includes different products, different rubrics on which I work on, and I try to produce and use the ICT in order to come up with some products or something concrete that can be very fruitful for my students. One of these is the online English tutoring platform. There is a website, an online platform that features different learning packages for students, general English for for kids and teenagers, professional English for adult professionals who need English in order to take their English level, their English to the next level, and because they need it at work. And we have also another package which has to do with the with English for exams or examinations like IELTS or TOEFL or whatever. Another element which is part of my projects is the interactive digital, developing interactive digital resources. It has to do with developing applications, learning applications that can help students to learn and develop this notion of autonomous learning and independence learning. This is something very nice, and there are some already some products that I managed to produce before, and there are many challenges that I would like to share with you, inshallah, after a while. Another project has to do with a dedicated YouTube channel. Having a YouTube channel is something I consider very important today. I consider that any teacher nowadays in this digital age must have web presence. We can't imagine a teacher who is just going, to his traditional classroom and then coming back, coming back home without being engaged, without being present in the net, without being present in the virtual world. I think that's having this presence, web presence, is very, very essential to stand as a professional. A teacher who is not just limited to his students, but he's open to the whole world, to his students, anywhere. Another project has to do with developing interactive digital resources. Okay, so I already mentioned this point, and we come to this in details. So the first application, one of the first digital resource I managed to develop, a few years ago, basically that was in 2016. It has to do with grammatics. That's the name of the first digital project I developed. And it is about interactive, quizzes, grammar quizzes for grammar practice for second year baccalaureate students. And what so special about this, something that makes me so happy engaging with the development of such apps is that some new teachers who spent just like 2 years or 3 years, who are new, in the field, they talk to me that they use this grammatics and so on, and it really helps me in their baccalaureate exam and so on to get prepared. And that's something really. This is what we are looking for, right? Behind developing all these things. We're not looking. They are not gonna make us bundle money, right? But it's that sense of happiness, right? That you feel when you see that you are helping someone achieving his dreams. Another application which is this audiovisual dictionary. It's this the idea of that again that I have in mind brings us back to the points that Mr. Lamari raised before when he said that there are, the use of ICT should consider creating different multiple inputs. So try to combine here, words, captions, audio and visuals in order to, for the student to maintain, let's say, the meanings of vocabulary, let's say, and audio too, in order to maintain the meanings of the new words. English Windows YouTube channel. It's for the time being, there are over 463 English videos out there. Most of these videos are recorded live video lessons with students from different parts of the world, including Saudi Arabia, Canada, France, and also Morocco, and the United Arab Emirates. It was a really nice experience. I say, why not recording what I did? I already made an effort and so on. So recording and documenting this, these lessons, provide me with an opportunity for reflection and also an opportunity for my student to learn more and reflect on his performance beyond the classroom. Another project has to do with the English Windows Online platform. I talked about that, and the current projects I have recently developed. Inshallah, we're going to have after a while a live demonstration lesson for this web application for second baccalaureate students. And this application, we'll come to that inshallah, right? So to discuss exactly how I made this application and what are some of the challenges that I faced. But the question again is why developing an interactive app for grammar practice? Of course, you talked before about the problem of grammar. It's most of the teachers find it a boring class. Most of the students also have problems, let's say, grasping, especially that their attention span is not that large, so it's very short. They are mostly distracted. They can't focus on many things at a time. So I'm going to skip this point. We all know about the need for a digital solution in order to face the problem that that students face when it comes to grammar, teaching grammar in the traditional way. Teaching grammar in the traditional way lacks a lot of things. One of those things is that there is no opportunity for an immediate feedback. For instance, when you assign students a grammar sheet and so on, or an exercise to work on, students, they don't have the chance to interact with that material. It's a static material. It's a dead material. There is no way to verify and make sure whether what they are doing is okay or not. So I think that a digital solution, an interactive solution is necessary. And English Windows right now comes second year baccalaureate. It comes in order to fill in that gap and response to the student needs, and eager for interactivity and gamification. We'll be focusing on the main point, which has to do with the key features and functionality. Oriel talks about this point before. So let's move on right away to the features that makes this application so distinctive and special. So as for the story of developing this app, normally in 2016, I developed a similar app before. Windows application before. But the problem is that the content of those interactive quizzes that constitute the content of that application were in SWF extension format. So in Flash, what is known as Flash format, right? But in the end of 2020, so Adobe stopped, it's discontinued, and Microsoft and Google and so on, they no longer support Flash. So I started to get complaints from students that the app doesn't display anything. So from that time, I was thinking about, I have been thinking about ways to, make again this project alive. So the solution is to go back again to the web, right? I thought about developing an Android application, but as a teacher, I like a lot of things related to language programming and so on. But AI again was the solution. AI, I think for me as a teacher who is very concerned with developing apps and so on, the best uses for AI for me, is using it for coding and scripting. Because scripting, takes a long time, even if you know how to script and so on, but it takes a long time. And we as teachers, we don't have that specialized knowledge, so AI really helps in order to come up with. So Grammatics, which was the first attempt to develop an interactive app for the second year baccalaureate students, was faced by the problem of the discontinuity of Flash layer. But luckily, we came back again because the AI was powerful tool that provided a solution for us. Okay, so for the features of this, let's say, application, which is for second year baccalaureate students, this application has some distinctive traits. The first one is that it focuses on this notion of gamification, right? Because students, as my colleagues talked before, these digital natives, they are more attached to games, and they want to play, they want to interact, they want to click, and so on. So I think that this notion makes, let's say, this application engaging and makes students highly motivated. Another feature is that it provides instant, immediate feedback, and I talked about that. This is very important, especially when it comes to accuracy-based activities. When it comes to accuracy-based activity, an immediate feedback is necessary in order to avoid the accumulation of fossilization of mistakes, becoming errors, and so on. So I think this is a good idea. And variety is another important element. Also, right, my colleagues talked before about, what I learned from maybe the first presentation is the variety of, or the multiple inputs, right? There are, in this application, which consists of different interactive quizzes, there are different and varied questions out there, multiple questions, grab and drop questions, gap filling questions, and scrambling questions. So there is, some variety that, can avoid that boredom and makes learning more enjoyable. The last feature, it has to do with automatic reporting, and I think this feature is very, very important. I mean, once the student finishes a certain quiz, of course, it must be connected. The result of his quiz goes both to the author, to the teacher, and also to the student's email. Because at the beginning, I always ask the student to provide his email and his name. And of course, those again emails and so on can be used, data that can be used in order to provide the students with updates for any learning opportunity, whatever. Okay, so just for live demonstration, I'm going to, there are two versions, by the way, for this app. That's one of the challenges actually I faced when I developed the app completely, but I was just focusing on using it on computers, right? Right, and I got some comments, very fruitful comments actually. They say, it doesn't work well, let's say on mobile. And I say, okay, so for the time being, right, the solution is that I'm going to, just make the navigation responsive so that I'm mobile friendly, so that, each one is going to so that the app is going to work or function correctly, let's say on mobiles. But the next inshallah challenge is to turn this again into an Android app. That will be better. So inshallah, for very quickly to show you the both at least the Windows navigation form, right? Yes. Okay. Sorry. Show you how it looks, right? So all the questions that we have here are contextualized using a picture, relevant picture that reflects the meaning that you'll be all the statements out there. So there are 10 statements for each quiz, and the quiz is set, time limit is set to 10 minutes. I think it's enough for the student to to finish. So this is just what I want to show here, and we'll see once the student finishes, let's say the quiz. He must got, let's see, the results, report for the results. I will just see an example here if it's possible. Already almost finished. So this is right, the result, let's see, for how it looks together with the detailed about it. This can be used, to, if someone has maybe great at school, a multimedia class or whatever, when it comes to vocabulary, testing vocabulary or assessing grammar, I think if you manage, to create, an interactive quiz like this, you will get rid of that burden of grading and grading and grading, especially if you have so many classes, right? Or maybe if someone is absent, to students from time is absent, so you can resort to this interactive quiz as a solution.
No problem.
So I think I've come to the end of this presentation, which is meant just to share ideas and so on, and they will, inshallah, be glad to hear from you. So welcome anytime if you have any anything any comments or any question. And as for the workshop that we normally have, let's say, in the plan, which has to do with online tutoring. I have already conducted like 3 workshops online before, 12 hours for, let's say, each workshop. And I'm so ready, inshallah, for anyone who is interested, to just give me your name, for those who are interested in. I have eliminated, this, changed my idea because this, the workshop has business side, right? It's all about business, right? Not a little bit. That's why I say no, right? Let's stick to the pedagogical, let's say, aspect, let's say, of the this event. So, inshallah, for those who are interested, inshallah, in making an income, why not? And teaching students from home, right? From whatever country and so on. Inshallah, I have a successful experience.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much. Thank you.